Archie, there is so much bad advice on social media.
Well, Rob, let's take out the trash. I'm Archie Hoxton.
And I'm Rob Hoxton.
And this is Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. Welcome back to the Last Paycheck podcast. We're your hosts, Archie Hoxton and Rob Hoxton. And today, we're going to be reacting to some viral financial advice. I've seen some of these videos, on my social media, on YouTube, and, I just thought it would be kind of fun to pick it apart and talk about it, and just sort of clear the air. There's some.
And today, these are about 401ks, right?
Yeah, this is 401k advice. So, we'll go ahead. We're going to watch it. You'll watch it with us, and then we'll break it down and talk about problems with the advice. So, all right, here we go.
401k was never meant as a big retirement plan. A 401k was developed because after the Depression, people were not getting back into the stock market. So they created a 401k to make it easy for the average person to get into the stock market. So you really got to do some research. I mean, everybody, all of us need to really do our research when we're looking at just blindly accepting advice from somebody. So I don't think today you can save yourself to retirement. I mean, the interest rate's 2%, right? It was almost negative because it was zero something, and the fees you're paying brings you negative. So if you're saving money, are you trying to build as big a nest egg as possible to live off of? And who knows what's going to happen with inflation, deflation? There's so many factors. So I don't think saving and a 401k is a good financial retirement plan at all. I think it's probably some of the worst advice you could get today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's start out. 401ks did not start after the Great Depression. That
Right.
was the 1930s,
Right.
right? They started in 1978.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this is pretty egregious because that is just so completely wrong. And then she later goes on to say, make sure you do your research and don't listen to advice that you hear blindly. And I'm like, that's pretty ironic because, anybody, a quick Google search would tell you that the 401k was invented much, much later.
Yeah. And she does make some points, like interest rates, probably when this was recorded, were low. And inflation will come back. And that's true.
Yeah.
But she didn't give a single reason why a 401k wouldn't be a good investment option for saving for retirement.
Right. Well,
She lost me at the beginning, though. Do your research, and it started after the Great Depression.
Yeah. I mean,
It did actually start after the Great Depression, but it was like 45 years. Yeah.
I mean, so really do your research. Do a quick Google search before you go on the internet and say something as if it's a fact that's not. And I think that the thing that actually bothers me so much about this advice is that she says she's making it sound as though it's completely unrealistic to save and retire sort of a traditional, slow, steady growth of wealth style, which is not true. You can save your way to retirement as long as what you're saving is being invested. And 401ks all offer a variety of investment options, mostly mutual funds, which invest in stocks and or bonds. And so, and historically, many of those investments have provided returns in excess of that 2% interest rate she was talking about. So
I'm interested to know what the alternative is. I mean, I'm going to guess that she's got something that she's selling, and it probably starts with the letter I, as in insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
I would guess. I think I don't know. We don't know what the rest of the video. This is just sort of a short clip from an interview, but I would guess that there may be something else there. Otherwise, I don't know why you would steer so many people who are just trying to find a way to have a good retirement that's comfortable, where they're not, running out of money. away from one of the primary investment vehicles that ordinary people use to retire, and that's proven. That's in the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I would say one last item on that is inflation, and maybe that's the closest thing to true that she brought up. Inflation is a problem for everyone. It is the constant sort of slow creeping enemy of a retirement saver that you always have to be aware of. It's the risk that's ever present. However, with a good investment strategy, you can, over a long period of time, outperform inflation, and your dollars can maintain their purchasing power throughout retirement. So, good point to be aware of it, but not something don't let it steer you away from the tried and true vehicles like 401ks and IRAs.
Archie, we've got another video to look at too, don't we?
We do. And this one's a little bit more upfront with the motives.
Yeah,
so,
in your face about what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
401ks made sense when tax rates were coming down. You know, you get a tax deduction up here, it grows tax deferred, and you retire and you pay tax down here. But we know taxes are going to have to go up. So how much sense does it make to take money out of your check today, defer that baby till taxes go up to 50, 60%, then I'm going to take it out and pay? That doesn't make any sense. So what I tell people is, say, does your company have a 401k? Yes. Does it have a match? Yes. Explain the match. Well, if I put in 4%, they match with 4%. Okay, good, I do that. That's 100% rate of return. But above the match, I wouldn't put in my 401k anymore. I would put that into cash value life insurance because I want to be in control. I want to have tax-free income in retirement. And that 401k and that IRA, those are going to be like chains around people's necks. They're going to regret that they put as much money in those products as they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least he got right to the point.
Yeah, they didn't beat around the bush.
This is the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
And now with the internet, you can tell lots of people. But the problem is, I'd be worried if I were this guy that my mother would see it, frankly, right? Yeah. I mean, I would really not want to disappoint my mother so much as to be seen as somebody who's just slinging insurance as an investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's, I look at that and I think this is just salesmanship. And, the rest of this, I actually did watch the rest of the interview, and it is interesting. And, he downplays the importance of being a fiduciary. I mean,
wow.
It's this one is also quite
Are there
egregious.
no regulators? I know that in our profession as financial planners, we're very heavily regulated. We are regulated as fiduciaries. We accept that responsibility. Whereas this guy just, makes fun of it, I guess. But
different set of rules, unfortunately. But I think some of the problems that I see with this advice is that there's one really, really, really big assumption working in the background, and it's that taxes are going to go up. And when he said, what he means is tax rates are going to go up. However, he doesn't actually know that. No one really knows that because it depends on who is going to be elected to Congress in the future, who would construct and vote on tax legislation. And so we don't actually know what's going to happen in the tax world.
Yeah, if you're worried
15,
about that,
20, 30 years from now.
If you're worried about that, use your 401k to make Roth contributions. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there are no really good arguments here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, it's like the guy's never heard of Roth 401k or Roth IRA. That's a tax-free investment vehicle, which you can get into that, and your cost is limited to the cost of whatever investments you're using, which may be extremely low, certainly lower than the costs of insurance when it comes to cash value life insurance or annuities.
I don't mean to cut you off, but when I think of using a life insurance product as an investment tool, keep in mind that there are massive commissions generally paid to agents that are hawking these policies. I kind of think of it this way. using a life insurance policy as an investment tool is kind of like buying a convertible so that you can dry your hair, right? Yeah, you can use a convertible to dry your hair. It will do it, but it's a really expensive way to dry your hair.
That's right.
Right? So why would you use a life insurance policy, particularly if you don't need a death benefit, to try to have some sort of, manufactured, tax-favored income through a policy loan that may or may not work at some point in the future?
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because whenever I see, and that actually reminds me of something that he said later, which was these things, talking about 401ks and IRAs, are going to be like chains around your neck. But I'll tell you this, the only time someone's ever referred to their savings for retirement as a chain around their neck, to me, in a conversation as client and advisor, they were talking about insurance products they were sold that they didn't understand and didn't need. And that ended up being a chain around their neck, not their IRA or their 401k. That's their freedom. That's what allows them to have retirement and flexibility.
Well, and don't mistake what we're saying. I'm a huge believer in insurance.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I think that for most people, having term insurance that protects them when they have something to protect before they've built wealth, really important. Disability insurance, same way. Long-term care insurance, same way. And there are instances where cash value life insurance makes a lot of sense as well. Namely, if you believe that you're going to have to pay estate taxes.
Yeah.
If you've built enough wealth to be subject to estate taxes and you need insurance that's there when you're very old, really the only way you can do it is with a permanent, type of policy that has a cash value. But purely as an investment, the only favor that these people are doing is the favor to themselves of earning a big commission.
Yeah. Well, and I think that one of the problems is that those kinds of policies don't have universal application, right? Not everybody needs them. People that do need them are, like you said, the very wealthy people. Someone who cares for someone with special needs might need one.
Right.
But often what is done is that they're sold not for their primary purpose, which is to have insurance, life insurance that lasts for the rest of your life when you're old and it would be too expensive to buy term. It's sold often as this like secret that the rich know that you don't.
Yeah.
And it's this special retirement thing when really it's not very special. You can accomplish it without the insurance. So why pay for the insurance if you don't need the death benefit? So anyway, there's a lot of salesmanship around this. I think that.
Oh, and here's another secret that these guys don't want you to know. You can buy this kind of insurance now without paying a commission.
Oh yeah, there are
now those types of policies out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's a good point. So, and that's important. But anyway, there's advice like this it's like a dime a dozen out on the internet. There's tons of it. If you all enjoyed this, we'll do more sort of reactions and try to poke some holes. And there's also some really good advice. Maybe we'll do some reactions to great sort of viral TikTok advice and that kind of thing. But that's about all for today. So we hope you enjoyed it. Remember, leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts you want to share with us. Like, subscribe, share with your family and friends. See you next time. You've been watching Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. If you like this show, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Last Paycheck is available anywhere you get your podcasts.